This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
So that being said, this is why I called committee business today, and I'm going to go to Monsieur Villemure maintenant, s'il vous plaît.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to table a motion that will replace last week's motion. So I don't want you to necessarily take into account last week's motion, and I will read the motion. The interpreter does not have the motion in the booth. Pursuant to 183H, that the committee undertake a study on the RCMP's decision not to pursue a criminal investigation into Prime Minister Justin Trudeau following the reprimand issued by the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner regarding his involvement in the SNC Lavalin affair. That the committee devote 3 meetings to this study. That the committee request for 1 hour per witness. Mr. Mario Durand, former Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, acting Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, Mr. Conrad Winrich von Finkenstein, Mr. Michael Durand, the RCMP Commissioner, Mr. Vincent, Sensitive and International Investigations, Federal Policing Ontario Division, and the former advisor to the Prime Minister, Mr. Gerald Butts, and that the committee report on the unethical sharing of personal information, that the committee report to the House, and that pursuant to Standing Order 109, the committee request a comprehensive response from the government.
Okay. Merci. The motion is in order, and it's based on the notice of motion that you put on notice. Okay. Est-ce que vous avez
Do you have anything you want to add to that? Well, the purpose of the motion is that the study begin after the TikTok study so that we don't disrupt that study. Now, on the other hand, I think we should make it a priority. It's very important. The media have covered this. People are asking questions about it. So the purpose would be to begin as soon as possible without torpedoing the TikTok study.
Merci, Monsieur Villemure. Ms. Khalid.
Thank you, Mr. Villemure.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I absolutely appreciate Monsieur Villemure's commitment that this potential study start after our TikTok study. I know how important it is to me. I mean, it's been 3 years since we've been able to get a study going. So far, we've only had maybe an hour and a half on this study, and I am quite adamant that we move forward with our TikTok study, social media and privacy study before we go into any other business. Now, I do have a couple of amendments to propose to Mr. Villemure's motion.
So we're going to deal with this in its entirety right now, because we couldn't do it one-on-one. So we're going to deal with it in its entirety. The amendment from Ms. Khalid is to only have one meeting. And in that meeting, we're going to have the RCMP commissioner. We're going to have I believe that's the staff sergeant who would accompany Mr. Duhaime. And that's what you're proposing. There's no, and then, sorry, the former Privy Council Clerk, Michael Warnick. Okay.
I'm wondering if we can perhaps withdraw that the amendment from 3 to 1 on this, but perhaps maybe we just need to suspend for a little bit so our colleagues can talk amongst ourselves and seek a little bit of clarity within each other as to what the text of the motion should be.
And I think we could possibly come up with a solution to this, and that is based on what Ms. Khalid had said, that the committee request to appear for 1 hour per witness, A, the RCMP Commissioner, Mr. Duhaime, B, Mr. Frederick Pinchinci, who is the Staff Sergeant, and then C, the former Privy Council Clerk, Mr. Warnick. Now, it would be an assumption that Mr. Duhaime and Mr. Pinchinci would come together for an hour, and then Mr. Warnick would come for an hour, and so that would effectively take one meeting. Now, if the committee deemed that there was more that is required, any further witnesses, we can dispose of that at that time or deal with that at that time. But I'm hoping that this will solve at least having these witnesses appear before the committee and that they appear for 1 hour per witness. Now, that would, I think, resolve the standoff that we're in right now. But I've got Mr. Villemure and then Ms. Khalid. Go ahead. Allez, Monsieur Villemure.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Think at a minimum 2 meetings or at least 2 meetings. But I just want to make sure I'm clear on the list of witnesses. So perhaps Ms. Khalid could repeat that to me.
Ms. Khalid.
Thank you, Chair. Unfortunately, this has been a bit of a game, although I have very clear notes as to what I would like amended. For some reason, it's become a little bit ambiguous as we're discussing it right now. So I am absolutely okay with Mario Dion, Conrad von Finkenstein.
That's not the amendment that was proposed.
Sorry, Monsieur Villemure just asked me
Okay.
which witnesses we would be okay with.
Okay,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
just answering his
Okay,
question.
okay, go
Is that
ahead.
okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, wait, Monsieur Michael Duhem,
Monsieur Michael Duhem.
Frederick Pinsins, and for the last one, the PCO clerk, Mr. Warnick, the former PCO clerk, Mr. Warnick, as the witnesses.
That's correct.
Ça va pour moi.
That's good.
And 2 meetings would be absolutely great for me as well, if that's what Mr. Villemure is good with as well.
Okay.
Ouais, je précisais au moins 2.
Well, I was saying at least 2, at a minimum 2. I'd like the doors to be left open to more meetings.
At least 2 meetings. Stops it at 2, but the potential exists for more if the committee deems that. Okay. So can you just hang on a sec, because there is some confusion here, okay? So stand by. Here's correct me if I'm wrong on this, okay? So what we've come up with is that the committee will devote meetings to this study, at least 2 meetings. 2 meetings, we agree with that. At least 2 meetings. That the committee requests to appear for 1 hour per witness. We agree with that. Right?
That's not in the text of the motion, Chair?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right, good, solid.
Okay. If I heard you right, that would include Mr. Dion, the current Ethics Commissioner, Mr. von Fickenstein, the Rcmp Commissioner, the Staff Sergeant, and the former Clerk of the Privy Council, Mr. Wernick, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, that's what we're dealing with. Ms. Damoff?
So do we need unanimous consent to withdraw Ms. Khalid's previous motion then?
We're just going to withdraw it. If we're all in agreement
Yeah,
that
okay.
this motion is correct and we're all in agreement, I don't think there's any need for further discussion on this. All right? Can we go to a vote, or do we have unanimous consent on this motion? What would you prefer?
Le consentement unanime est très bien.
Okay, merci, monsieur.
Unanimous consent is fine with me.
You good? Mr. Green, you're good? You're good, Ms. Khalid? Ms. Fortier? Okay, so that motion passes. Are you clear on this, Madam Clerk?
I am.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Barrett, you have the floor. Go ahead.